Hi everyone, good morning, welcome, or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I'm Victoria Jennings, and welcome to um, this session where we're going to be looking at your business is not broken, it's just missing a roadmap. This was so true of me when I look back when I was first creating my business, which my business college and trade college, that's generated over $40 million now in the last 20 years or so. Um, I didn't have a roadmap when I began. No one told me what I should do first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So, what happened was, and you may be experiencing this too, I would search out all these mentors. I would, in those days, read so many books. And I was working with people like Jack Canfield with the success principles. And, he's an old mentor of mine. I mean that in a very respectful way. And I got to actually, and you can see, whoops, there, you can see behind me on my bookshelf, there's the book that I actually wrote with him, co-authored with him in 2017, which was a monumental moment for me to actually write a book with one of my mentors. But I used to read, so I would read his books, so I'd read and take advice, but he was coming from a certain perspective. It wasn't the whole picture of what's going on in business, but I didn't know that at the time. And then I'd find another one, and maybe John Demartini comes to mind. I did a fair bit of work with John on mindset and things like that. And then there are various other ones as well, Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, who's all about sales, and it goes on. I mean, there are a lot of wonderful mentors out there. They're all wonderful, but they all come from one slice in the business that you need to focus on. They're all coming from their view of the world. They're all coming from their perspective. So often when we work with those mentors, um, sometimes it will feel really easy and it really resonates with us, and it's awesome, and we'll see some movement because we've worked with them. Wonderful. And we get learning no matter who we're with, and that's a valuable thing, right? Expanding our mind, expanding our knowledge, really important to work on that and keep doing that. So it doesn't really matter who the mentor is, right? You're going to learn something. And I'm a big believer in anything that I attend, I'm going to get some gold nuggets out of, no matter who is doing the training. There's always a gold nugget there for me that I maybe hadn't heard it before, or I hadn't seen it that way from their point of view, etc., etc. So all knowledge is valuable. I'm not taking any of that away. But the way they created wealth, and that's the way they teach, and that's what they teach, is not necessarily your way of creating wealth. And so if you're working with a mentor who's using a different playbook than your playbook, then you're going to struggle with their playbook because it's in opposition to yours. Okay. So it could feel heavy. It could feel like, um, you know, when you do what they tell you to do, and it's worked for them, it's obviously worked for them. Proof is in the pudding, right? There's nothing wrong with the strategy. It's just not your strategy. And that's really, really important. And that was probably a game changer for me in my business when I understood there are 8 different playbooks. There are 8 different ways to create wealth. There are 8 different ways to run your business. There are 8 different ways to show up in a team. There are 8 different ways and different talents and strengths that we can focus on that give us the biggest bang for our buck. That was probably an absolute critical moment in my life when I really understood this, and when I understood that we don't build businesses the same way, and that's okay. My strategy is not um, Dean Graziosi's strategy. It's not. We're not the same. We're not built the same way. All right. His business model is not my business model. It will never work for me. It will never work for me. Okay. And this goes for so many of the gurus that are out there. Now, absolutely, what they're saying about that section of business is spot on, and I need to have people whose playbook that is to work with me. The people who understand that language of that mentor, because it's needed in the business. I'm not saying it's not needed, it is. And the 8 different perspectives that we need are represented by all the mentors, all the mentors that we listen to and learn from. Okay, but they've got a piece of it, not all of it. And if it's not our piece, it's always going to feel out of place. It's always going to be part of the jigsaw puzzle that we just can't put into the puzzle because we are not coming from that perspective of business. And it's so important to realize that and understand that. And so if you want to understand that more, make sure you've done the EBS profiling tool. Make sure you've done it because it identifies your playbook. It identifies how you should build your business. It identifies what you should be focusing on in your business because that's in your wheelhouse. It identifies who to get to work with you and collaborate with, who have the other perspectives of business that you don't have. It helps you in recruitment. It helps you in so many different ways. So that's the first step. And of course, understanding ourselves is the most important thing to understand first, especially on the entrepreneurial journey. It is very different to be running a business than it is to be a team member in a business. So different. You're in the driver's seat. You've got to make sure everything's going to happen to make your business successful. So you build the team around you to do that. And building a team around me to do that has meant I could actually exit my business. Exit in the sense that I don't have to run it every day. I'm not in it every day. I do one meeting a week and I'm done. And my CEO implements the vision, right? That he works with the team and he does, happens to be a he at the moment, he does all of that, right, on my behalf. And I make sure the rewards are really great for him so that he'll keep doing that. So I would not have been able to do that. I would not have ever been able to build a business if I didn't understand this fundamental philosophy, if you like, methodology, strategy, that there are 8 different ways and 8 different people we need to have in our business to make it hum, to make it sing. And that the mentors that I choose, sometimes I will choose them to be complementary to who I am. If I need to have as perspective and understanding of something that I'm not doing in my business, but others are doing in my business, but I need to be able to know the right questions to ask them, right? Because I need an understanding of everything in the business, but I don't need to do it. Other people are the doers, not me, in that area. But I'm the doer in one area of the business, and I make sure that I focus on that. And that's how you build the business if you want to scale it. If you don't want to scale it, keep doing everything yourself. You'll get burnt out eventually. Right? And it won't be pretty. It can't be pretty because it gets to a tipping point where you can no longer do it on your own. And what are you going to do then? So it's way better to know to build a business where you're going to one day perhaps step out of it or sell it. So you build an asset so the business is worth something, because if the business needs you in it, you can't sell it. You'll never be able to sell it because the brand is you. While the brand is you, you'll be working in the business all the time, some way, shape, or form. And by the way, a lot of businesses start that way. And that's okay. You can start that way. We all know we've got to do things that are outside of our comfort zone in the beginning. We all know we've got to do whatever it takes to get that business off the ground. Okay. But we also need to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we won't always need to be working on the things that we're currently working on, that one day we will be able to delegate or outsource the tasks that are not in alignment with who we are and are not in alignment with how we make money. Because who we are is how we make money. And the faster you can get into just doing that, the more money you'll make. Does that make sense? So if your business is like feeling stuck at the moment, you're not making progress, or the amount of progress you thought you would have by now, here's the truth. Your business isn't broken. You just haven't built it the right way. You haven't had a roadmap to follow. No one's given you the roadmap. No one said you've got to have this in place first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or this is what you focus on first. Now you can focus on this. And now you're ready to focus on that. Now you're ready to get a team together. Now, etc., right? They haven't done that. They haven't shown you a roadmap. I don't know of any course at university or college that actually teach this. They all teach components of business and what makes up business. They don't teach how to pull it all together and put it in place. All right? That's what I do. That's where I come in. I pull it all together and I put it in place and I share it with you. Okay? So most entrepreneurs, you don't need to start over. We don't start over. We just need to follow the right sequence in the right order. That's all we need to do. We need to identify the gaps we might have in the business, because depending on our perspective of business, we'll have blind spots. And those blind spots will have nothing happening in them. And to have a business that, if you want to scale it, to have a business that will scale, that will get you to 7 figures and beyond, then you need to make sure you've got certain things in place in your business as a foundation, and you've got to make sure you've got the certain things in place as a structure. So the foundation is the stuff you build first, and it's there, as the name suggests, as a solid foundation to build your business upon. And then you've got things that you'll add to the structure as you're building the building, right? Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, level 7, right? As you're building those levels, you keep adding to what needs to be in that structure. But if you can't see what you can't see, you're going to build a building that doesn't have 4 walls, but that might have 2 walls. Or it's got one really high wall and another wall that's half, and another wall that's a third of that, and another wall that's hasn't even begun. That's what your business is going to look like, and that's why you're going to be limping. You're going to be stuck. You don't know how to get to the next level. If this is relating to you, it's because no one has shown you what you need to do and when you need to do it, and how you need to do it, right? Most entrepreneurs I know, as soon as they start their business, hang up their shingle, the first thing they focus on is sales. And so they're missing a whole piece of the foundation of the building. And if they keep building it that way, it cannot scale. It can't scale because you haven't sorted out your strategies first. Strategies must be done first. Then you implement the strategies, and one of the strategies you implement is marketing and sales. But it's not the first thing, okay? So you can get stuck. Because of this, you can get stuck on a revenue roller coaster and wonder why you can't shift above the 6 figures. What is it? It's like a glass ceiling, you keep hitting your head. It's because you can't see something. It's because there's something you're blinded to. And it doesn't matter how many mentors you talk to. If that's where you're blind, You can listen to them and you'll agree with them, and then 3 days later you'll forget everything they told you. Or it will be such a struggle for you to learn with them, you'll just give up. And I can tell you why that's going on, just with a conversation with you. All right. So if you're constantly reinventing your offer, it's not your offer. It's not your offer. It's how you built your business. If you're overthinking marketing and throwing spaghetti at the wall, it's because you don't have a marketing strategy, usually. If you feel burnt out doing everything yourself, it's because you haven't identified the team that you need to have around you to start delegating to them or outsourcing to them and trusting them enough to do that. Right? There's a big piece around trust when you start delegating different pieces of your business. If you're feeling burnt out because you're doing everything yourself, if you're like that octopus syndrome, right, I've talked about before. If you're afraid to build a team at all because you're afraid to let go of things because you don't think anyone else can do it as well as you can, well, guess what? They can. You've just got to engage the right people and know who to engage. Even when you are recruiting suppliers to help you with your business, okay, they've got to be coming from their perspective of business too. Otherwise, you're going to have problems with that supplier. If you're working with a consultant, they need to be in alignment with the areas of business that you're not, because they've got that vision that you don't. And it's that vision that you need in your business right now, not yours. Very, very important. And know that when you're doing the work of mentors who are helping you to build your business, and it feels like wading through wet cement, you are working with a blindfold on because it's not your way of doing things. It's not your model of the world, and it's not your model of business. You're working on something that's needed in your business, but it's not natural to you. And that's why a lot of people give up. And then they say, that course didn't work. That mentor was lousy. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. And this system allows you to appreciate and value everybody around you for their natural talents and strengths, because it's a gift, and it's a gift that they're sharing with you. Okay? But understand, if it's not in alignment with your natural way of doing business, it's going to feel foreign. It's going to feel foreign. So that is a clue of where you need to delegate ASAP. If you procrastinate over it, that's where you need to delegate as soon as you can, because it's not in your wheelhouse. It never will be, and you'll never be great at it. And in business, we need to be great in 4 areas. Great in 4 areas. And we're all great usually in 1. So there are at least 3 people we need to have working on our business with those different perspectives, right, that complement where we're coming from. That's what it's all about too. You've got to complement the skills of your team, and they've got to complement yours. It's really awesome when you understand this. So at Entrepreneurs Building Success, we teach the things that you need to be looking out for. So the first thing you need is clarity. You need the roadmap. Out of the roadmap is going to come your vision. Out of your vision is going to spill everything. You need a vision before you need sales. You need strategies in place before you need sales. You need to know on the roadmap where you are right now and where you are on the map. That's the most important thing. How do you know where you want to go if you haven't even decided on your journey yet? You haven't even decided on the destination. So if we're here and we have a destination, We can use the roadmap to get to it. But if we don't even know what the destination is, and a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to don't, if there is no destination, final destination that you want to achieve, you'll never get there, because you're not going to get there from good luck. Businesses don't operate on luck. They don't. They don't operate on, well, let's suck it and see. That's a really long-term strategy. And you're going to be going around a lot of roundabouts, and you're going to get stuck in a lot of places, and you're going to find glass ceilings everywhere in the way, right? So clarity. Know exactly who you are, what you offer, where you're headed, your vision, and what your vision and the strategies are to achieve them. That's number one. Number two, marketing, right? Attract the right people using the right message. Number three, sales. Okay. Convert leads without pushy tactics. Don't need pushy tactics. That's old school. It's the old way of doing things. You just provide value. You provide value, the people will come, right? Then you need your team. You start building a team around you. And as your business gets to different financial levels, then you can increase your team. And then we've got to deliver everything, right? So we've got to be able to deliver the value repeatedly and nurture our clients using systems to support it so that we can scale. We've also got to look at the financials. So we've got to build wealth, not just income. A lot of people get confused and think income is everything you keep. It's not. It's not. There's a whole lot of expenses that have to come out of that before you make a profit. And a lot of people don't even know if they're making a profit or not, or don't know if this particular offer that they have is making a profit. They don't know. Throwing the spaghetti against the wall again and hoping they make a profit. So your financials really, really important. Revenue, profit, profitability, cash flow, all of those things. And then the systems to automate everything to optimize your reach. Okay. And again, will depend whether you're an extrovert or introvert as to which systems you'll use and which systems you need to put in place. Because extroverts and introvert entrepreneurs run their businesses differently. And a lot of people have got that upside down because they've listened to an extrovert mentor when they're an introvert. Or they've listened to an introvert mentor when they're an extrovert. Both ways, it feels like wading through cement because it's not in line with who you are. We keep coming back to, you've got to know who you are. You've got to know exactly who you are, how you work, how you run your business, what your genius zone is, where your hotspots are, and stay in them. Where your what's in your wheelhouse, right? So important. So normally when we've got some problems going on, it's because we've got misalignment with who we are. Number one. So that's why I always, when I first engage with people, we do their profile first before I even talk with them, because I want them to tell me all about their business, and by me knowing their profile, I can tell immediately whether the business model is suitable to their profile. And 9 times out of 10, it's not, because they've listened to a mentor who is running their business from a different profile perspective. And it's causing all sorts of problems for those individual entrepreneurs. So it's important to get that right first. So are you building a business around your natural talents and strengths? And the answer has to be yes. Otherwise, it's going to be hard work and take a long time. If you want to take the fast track, you want the roadmap, and you want to get on the highway and you don't want to take the scenic route, you want to expedite momentum, you want to make more money faster, you want to free yourself up, you want to be able to have the life that you want by design, not by luck, then I really encourage you to book a call with me, and we discuss your profile, and I'll do a bit of an audit on the roadmap that you should be on and the roadmap that you're currently using, because if they're out of whack, and I guarantee if you don't understand this, they will be, it's going to be really slow and painful journey. I don't want that for anyone. I want everyone to understand this and to be able to use it in their business and gain momentum really, really quickly and get into, serious profitability as soon as possible, rather than you can do it on your own and it might take you 5 years to work it out like it did for me, or you may never work it out, because I know a lot of other entrepreneurs that have been on a similar journey to me, they're still stuck and they haven't built the business that they could walk away from that makes over multiple seven figures per annum for me without me being in it at all. 1 hour a week, I can do that from anywhere in the world. I don't need to be here. Okay. Getting an understanding of what I'm saying. So this was the game changer and is the game changer for everyone in any industry. It doesn't matter what you're in. I love working with business coaches, but this will work for a tradesman the same way, or tradesperson, I should say, the same way as it will for a business coach, for a course creator, for a consultant. It goes across industries and it goes across job roles, allows you to work with teams in a way you've never worked with. It is fantastic. And I would like to have a discussion with you about how fantastic it could be to help you sort out all this quagmire and make sure that you've got the 4 lenses in the glasses that you need to run your business at optimum level for you. Because it's about choices, right? It's about not allowing the market to determine how successful we can be. It's about pushing the market, guiding the market to the business that we want to have. By design, on purpose, with clarity. If that's something you're interested in, comment roadmap below and I'll make sure that we get a booking link to you so that we can have a chat, and also do your profile so that I know exactly who you are, and we talk about your business, and I do a bit of an audit. We see if there are any gaps that you've got going on in your business at the moment because of who you are and you weren't aware of who you are, and you may be following the wrong business model for you because you've been listening to a mentor who is different than you and would build their business completely differently to you. And they have built their business, that's why they're successful, their way. They knew it innately. And that's great. Most of us don't know innately who we are and how to build a business accordingly. All right? So that's why I'm here, and that's what this is all about, to help you out. Okay? Roadmap below, and I look forward to meeting you in person one-on-one, and let's have a deep and meaningful conversation about the business model that you're using, and let's see if it's in alignment with who you are. Okay. Thanks, everyone.